Hello, welcome back and welcome in. My name is Nikki Wheeler. If you're interested in gaming, go subscribe to my other channel and follow my Twitch to see my gaming live. Now, let's start this video. Today, I will be discussing Lorde. She is well known for her hits in the early 2010s, such as Royals and Tennis Court. She was only 17 when these songs were released in 2013 on her debut album, Pure Heroin. This album was at its prime because of the multiple hits within it and jump-started Lorde's career. Some of my favorites were Royals, Tennis Court, and Ribs. In Royals, the lyrics portray the singer and her friends as rejecting the indulgences of those in power. Instead, they choose to focus on creating their own joy and success through meaningful moments such as counting their dollars on a train to the party. This theme of setting one's own standards for a successful life is echoed in the chorus, and Lorde encourages listeners to be unapologetic in their choices and find their own idea of what it means to be royal. What I enjoyed about this song was obviously the sound. It was graceful and had the elegance of royalty like she had imagined, but also lyrically it was written like a hip-hop artist. Many genres mention champagne and fancy cars, but Cristal, Maybach, and Cadillacs have specific associations with hip-hop. She also includes ball gowns and some other neutral artifacts, but the lyrics read pretty clearly like a rap song. She has stated herself that she is a huge fan of the genre, is inspired by it. So there is no doubt there is some subtlety to these lyrics. Some did take issue, even in 2013, but I think it shows that she genuinely pays attention to what people value and how we need to find our own fun and not just what's trending or flashy. Next, I wanted to talk about Tennis Court. It was produced by Joe Little and was characterized as a down-tempo hip-hop and EDM-influenced alternative pop, art pop, and electropop song. Lorde said she wrote the song after having had a glimpse into the music industry and was just thinking about how superficial people can be and how we put up with all these fronts. She found the idea of a tennis court very visually beautiful, and I can't disagree. She had mentioned it being a symbol of nostalgia, and I thought of it as a back and forth game when lyrically speaking. I think this song showcased her vocal capabilities when it comes to genres and what her strong suit actually is, and Lorde reflects on the smart yet boring way people talk about the world and encourages the listener to focus on thrilling, positive pursuits and seek out adventures. She encourages them to be carefree and join her in her new art form, showing people how little we care. I thought the tennis court was a symbol of this newfound freedom and escapism, and I thought this would go hand in hand with my other comment of it being a back and forth game, which is freedom and restrained. The last song I wanted to talk about on this record was Ribs, a song about the bittersweet process of growing up and realizing that repetitive memories of past moments in childhood account for so much in life. The lyrics center around the idea that this dream isn't feeling sweet, depict the feeling of growing up and being overwhelmed by both how much life has changed and how quickly that change had happened, is an ode to the nostalgia that comes with feeling lost and the innocence of childhood, and it emphasizes the need for belonging and feeling comfortable in a chaotic world. In the chorus, Lorde sings about how laughing until their ribs get tough would never be enough, signifying that no style of comfort nor nostalgia could truly encapsulate the emotion she is feeling and going through. The song captures this feeling of wanting a time before and the desire to reach for the comfort of those memories, no matter how impossible it may be. I liked it for the sole purpose of fading in and out in the distant choir effect. It really amplified that nostalgia she wanted. Overall, I think this album is her best, actually, though I still don't like a majority of it. I can say I like maybe two other songs, and that being $Million Bills and White Teeth Teens. I just think that a majority of this record runs together, and it isn't that creative musically, though the popular songs gave her that indicator that we know it's Lorde when it comes on. Lyrically, though, I can say she is extremely talented. There is a lot of sadness and nostalgia in her words, and her delicate and soft voice allows for those feelings to pass through us easily. Now, the second album is titled Melodrama and was released 4 years later in 2017. I will be so honest here, I didn't even know this album existed until someone had mentioned that her third album cover was leaked a few years ago. I literally sat there and said, third album? So I did have to go back and look up her second one, and I was surprised by the numbers. It basically did the same popularity-wise as Pure Heroin. I did give it a listen, and I can say some of my favorites were The Louvre, Liability, and Rider in the Dark. Starting with The Louvre, I think it's about a passionate and intense relationship between two people. The singer has become obsessed with the other person, but is aware that the relationship might not be the healthiest one for her. Despite this, she does not want to let it go and can't help but fall in love with them. The chorus reflects this intense energy and desire as the singer repeatedly calls for the other person to make them all dance to their relationship. The song is ultimately an anthem of passionate love and appreciation, even if it is a bit unhealthy, with the ultimate hope that the two of them will become immortalized in the world famous Louvre Museum. The melody and bass line behind the Louvre is at times quite similar to her song Still Sane off Pure Heroin. I thought that was an interesting connection given that this track embraces psychosis and Still Sane denies it. I didn't like how similar it was to her last album, but this song was just different enough. It kind of was like a light in the middle of the dark. It had gleaming synths and Hartswell harmonies, which captured an immersive bliss and a shared frequency of love. This is irrepressibly impressive. Liability was the second song I wanted to talk about, and it's because the lyrics describe someone who is viewed as a toy and a liability for the one they love. The speaker is aware of this and tries her best to please the other person, but eventually they come to terms with the fact that it's better to be alone. It speaks to the reality that sometimes people can be too difficult or challenging for a partner to handle, leading them to pull back and make other plans. Despite this, the singer still appreciates their lover and recognizes the beauty in the relationship, even if it is ultimately doomed. I love the way her voice was almost perfect for the song as well. All the notes were met, and she had some voice cracks, and it was just beautiful. I think out of all the songs on this album, I think this one was lyrically the strongest, and it's all because of the first verse. The lyrics are, says he made the big mistake of dancing in my storm, says it was a poison, so I guess I'll go home into the arms of the girl that I love. And that's just part of it. The whole verse is eloquent and fascinating. The third song was Rider in the Dark. This song is about a person leaving a relationship to be with someone else and how their former partner will regret the day they choose to kiss a rider in the dark. The lyrics allude to the idea that the writer is a metaphor for someone with a creative spirit, and how creativity can be a source of strength for them even through hard times. The chorus affirms that, despite the difficulty of the breakup, the narrator will find the inner strength to survive, and that they don't need to be with the other person to feel complete. It's a stripped back ballad, and unlike any other ballad Lorde has done, this one has the feeling of no care, like officially. It isn't even the last song on the album, and at this point you can tell she has stopped caring that much about the significant other and was more focused on herself being happy. Nothing about it is really similar, but I was thinking about Love Me More by Sam Smith when listening to it again for this video. It kind of has that vibe, I guess. Musically, it is also quite a strong piece, probably the best, maybe right above the Louvre. Like her 2013 debut Pure Heroin, Melodrama is a work of sleek self-possession packed with bursts of peculiar rhymes and production that confound expected song formulas. However, while Heroin cast off the trappings of materialism atop spacious trip pop, Melodrama catches the mist off of new wave synths that benefit the name. I still think this album was an improvement for her as an actual artist, and I know she has grown and it shows, but I still prefer the debut over this one just because even though I said it kind of runs together, when it comes to my personal preference, I like the quote-unquote darker themes and nostalgia rather than the growth aspect. I respect her decisions, and I am glad she has shown growth, but it just really wasn't for me. Finally, the third and last album so far, which was released in 2021, is Solar Power. I thought the best tracks were the title track Solar Power, Fallen Fruit, and Dominoes. Solar Power is a song about embracing the start of warmer weather and the freedom and joy associated with it. The lyrics suggest that with the improved weather comes increased confidence in oneself, as well as boldness and adventure. It reminds me of how people say hot girl summer, but when Lorde says it, it's like she's still shy and that confidence boost is definitely more soft. The song is upbeat and serves as a reminder to take advantage of the summer and make lasting memories, freed from the constraints of modern life. I don't think this song does any justice to Lorde's career because it was a really nice change of pace and the rest of the album followed suit. The second song was Fallen Fruit. Lorde addresses the climate crisis, criticizing previous generations with an almost whimsical sense of wonder over unsettling acoustic folk for not working to solve a problem that may now be too late to fix. By using several Book of Genesis imagery, Lorde establishes a connection between humanity's quote unquote sin, often depicted by Western cultures as the forbidden fruit or an apple, and the human caused destruction of the environment, as if disregarding environmental concerns will have long lasting consequences. The bridge, again my favorite part per usual, further calls us to take risk and take back what was taken from us while embracing the unpredictable future that comes with it. The song is reflective of our modern times and encourages us to remember and learn from the past. I think it is a favorite song from the album and favorite Lorde song, period. I think her use of imagery is what carried this album, even for the weaker songs, which is definitely a majority. The third and final song I wanted to bring up was Dominoes. It portrayed a narrative of observing someone through various phases in life, constantly starting over and leaving a trail of missed opportunities behind them. The lyrics present a combination of admiration, curiosity, and disappointment in this individual's repetitive behavior. The chorus emphasizes the theme of missed chances, while in the second verse, Lorde relates an anecdote about someone else who had a connection to this person, indicating their reputation for causing harm or heartbreak. The mention of a person now smoking weed instead of engaging in more extreme behavior like cocaine implies a shift towards a milder, perhaps more socially acceptable vice. I think in this way, she made it easier to connect to a larger portion of people and how it should be normalized. The repetition of just another phase in the pre chorus reflects the cynical nature of this individual's life, and that repetition added so much more character and volume to the story that she was trying to tell. But I don't think there was enough depth to carry it throughout the album. It was definitely trying to be a story-rich album, and it was, but it wasn't fully fledged out, even if it was based on personal experience. It seemed like there were details that were left out or dismissed. The music in this album was definitely more my speed, and that being stringy and kind of folk, because it kind of reminded me of a more mainstream Dodie. Now, this is where I will be ranking the albums, and this will be going on a best to worst scale and will take lyrics, music composition, and vocal capabilities into account. At number 1, I have Pure Heroine. Number 2 is Melodrama, and number 3 is Solar Power. What I think Lorde does really well is the euphoric narrative of excitement, but I think even as a narrative music enjoyer, it does get bland after a while, especially when most of the music itself sounds kind of similar. She has her niche, and I'm glad she has met her own records and is happy with the result enough to put it out into the world, but I don't think much of Lorde's work is for me. The newer work she puts out feels like she's trying to grow out of her prime with Pure Heroine, but is still trying to replicate the sound so it stays popular. I am personally not a huge fan, but I can understand the appeal with her soft vocals for such ballads. With that, that is where I will leave this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and comment what you thought. Subscribe for more content like this and comment down below for who I should cover next. And until next time, bye guys.